What's up everybody, my name's Colin, welcome to 4 Ounce Insight. In this video we're talking about UFC 299, Sean O'Malley, Vera 2, lest we forget the first fight in which, you know, Sean O'Malley did not lose. There was no winner of that contest apparently. First of all, what a card. What a card. UFC are really putting out some good cards this year. Shame 300 doesn't look as tasty. But what a fantastic fight. I don't think I appreciated that this rivalry would accumulate in a fight like that. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it'd be a scrappy affair. I thought this would be way closer. And if I'm honest, I thought it was a bit of a coin toss. I couldn't pick a winner here. Now we know that Sean O'Malley is silky smooth with his striking, but Vera is the sort of person that just doesn't go away. He doesn't quit on himself. And what happened was we witnessed that in the fight, but magnified. Sean O'Malley has never looked better in terms of his striking. He took less risks, and I don't think that's people are pointing that out quite as much. He would take some crazy risks sometimes. There's lots of spinning kicks, way more controlled, way more settled. Precision, power, timing, speed, everything he needed to do, he did, and he did well. Every shot he took, O'Malley would not allow anything to go unanswered. So what we saw was the pinnacle of his striking, the true flow state striker with a little bit of discipline. Like, he doesn't fight traditionally. So sometimes we feel like, I say me, sometimes I feel like he's always got that potential to do something a little bit crazy and find himself in a tricky situation rather than taking calculated risks. And because he's starched everyone, he's kind of got away with some less than perfect technique. That is not an issue anymore. That is not an issue. Since the Peter Yan fight, he has got better and better and better in a way that none of us could have expected. Or I certainly didn't expect it. Everyone was saying he was going to be a star. I was someone that said he's going to be a star. I honestly did not think I would see him be that dominant against Vera. Because Vera is no joke. And what we got to see was his side magnified. That was the most impressive display of just will, heart, the inability to quit on himself. He could not quit. This reminded me a little bit like the Chris Matinho fight, where O'Malley pieced him up for 3 rounds. The difference is you never in that fight did you get the impression that Sean O'Malley was in danger. And Vera maintained a level of threat all the way through it. It definitely was. It's really tricky, especially when you check in all the strikes and you look at it, and if you break it down and you try and play the scoring game or the judging game, however you look at fights after the fact, it's hard to say that just wasn't a one-sided beating. But it really kind of wasn't, which is dumb to say. I mean, Vera took a pounding. That knee would break 99.9% of all fighters. I'm sorry. It sounded disgusting. It sounded like a bamboo cane snapping. It had that to it, that real snap. It was nasty. And I mean, clearly a turning point in the fight. I'm sure his face was dust under his skin. Like, I've not been in and checked on the social media or checked on the internet to find out the extent of his injuries, or even if there is any. But it wouldn't shock me if his orbital bone was shattered. It wouldn't shock me that the reactions that we were getting from Cheeto throughout the fight, from every punch after that, was so massive that I can only put it down to just sheer pain. I bet every shot, whether they had power, whether it was just a flick, I bet it was causing him all kinds of distress. I bet you could see it. Like he'd run off on a combination. He'd hit a 2, 3, 4 combination and land on O'Malley. O'Malley would instantly answer back and that first shot would shell him up. First, whatever it was, whether it was a jab, straight, whatever hit his face, shelled him up immediately and made him back up. And then once his eye got taken out, you know, who knows what he could see. And he still kept fighting. He still posed a threat right up until the last few seconds. He caught O'Malley with a nasty body shot. Now, had it connected directly with the liver, it was in that region, right? I don't know if that's the purest liver shot, but it was right up there. Imagine if that had been, it caught the liver in the way that we know can happen, and how fighters fold when that happens. This would almost be like Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz. Everyone would have been talking about Chito Vera's folding shot that nearly won him the fight had the time not run out. Much like Diaz clipping Leon, rocking him, and, you know, Leon holding on for a round after beating him up for, well, not a round, for the last minute. After Leon had beat him up for every second throughout, people still talk about that last sequence. And did he really win? And that's how close Chito was to having that type of story. Now, do I think O'Malley would have entered that exchange if he hadn't been so far ahead and so confident about what was happening? No, of course not. I think he wanted to have a little throwdown at the end of the fifth, get the buzz up, walk up, pretty confident knowing he'd won. And I kind of felt like he thought Chito was completely out of it by then. But we're talking that much. That much. And people would have been talking about this fight very, very differently. But nothing, like, you just can't argue. It was dominant. It was absolutely dominant. And this rivalry isn't going away. They've kind of found each other. I love it when fighters find each other in these weird circumstances. And then they create these rivalries. And they don't always need to be as, you know, heavy pitched or as emotional as, say, like DC and John Jones. You know, Nate and Conor, healthy respect, popped off on each other a little bit, you know, both understood why they were there, but there's a decent rivalry there, which is why, you know, McGregor will bring it up as always. You know, he keeps floating out, oh, there's always the Diaz-3 fight, there's always the Diaz-3 fight. Yeah, all right. But yeah, I love it when these fighters, and in this case, we've got such a juxtaposition in the two personalities, which is why I think we'll see this a third time. No disrespect to Chito Vera, but it looks like this guy looks like you pick a job, he's probably doing it. He looks like that guy. Like, you walk past a building site, you could imagine him doing that. Could you imagine him being a janitor? Yeah. Anything labourish? Yeah. Probably don't imagine him wearing a suit too much. He just seems like a hard-working, grafting individual. He's not flashy. You know, he's not driving around in expensive cars. I'm sure he has them. That's not his thing. Sean O'Malley looks like a wannabe DJ that's coked up, telling the world how he's going to be this massive star. As it turns out, he's not a coked up wannabe DJ. He's an incredibly determined individual and has developed a flow state striker. That's the only way I can describe him, because some of the stuff he does is not strictly traditional, and is sometimes risky, but, you know, he gets away with it because he's that flow state fighter. So yeah, we got one that's dressed like a psychedelic pimp, and the other one, honestly, like, Chito's just an understated guy. You know, family first, hardworking dude. He just happens to be a fighter. He happens to be a bloody good fighter. But yeah, so we've got this lovely kind of juxtaposition between these two people, and they're going to come back round again. They're going to come back round again. Was I expecting it to be this one-sided? No. No. Was I expecting it to feel so final? I guess I wasn't. I still felt like, maybe like I'm talking about that last body shot, I still felt like this fight would generate some controversy. I don't know why. There's no logic behind it. I just felt like it feels like this is one of those stories that's just going to rumble on and rumble on. And I hope to God it doesn't fade out and die, because they're almost made for each other. But for now, that chapter's definitely over. And what we've got is Sugar Sean defending his belt. He is now undoubtedly the money fight, especially in the division. I also think it's impossible to deny Merab at this stage. And it was not unexpected that wasn't the name on Sean O'Malley's lips. Now, the other part of O'Malley's personality is he's a businessman. So do I think for one second he feels like he's undefeated? No, he just felt like he didn't get an opportunity to fight, and there was a moment of, I don't know, fate, fortune, mishap, bad luck, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to his loss. But he knows business, and he knows how to build a brand. He also knows how to maximize his money, and he also knows what's a less dangerous fight. So if he takes on Poirier, that's a big fight. There's a lot of money and less risk. There's virtually no risk. We've seen when fighters move around divisions, go up, down, play around, they get a free fight if they're not in their division. They get a free fight. If they win it, they're Conor and they're Cormier and they're Nunes. They're anyone that's held 2 belts. Like that group of people is incredibly small. So you get all that reward, all that possibility. And if you lose, it's not your weight division, you can move around. So the person that moves generally gets all the benefits. TJ Dillashaw dropping down a weight, getting sparked out. No one really cared that much because he dropped so much weight to have a fight, to lose. And he would have been forgiven if he didn't then get busted for EPO. Silly boy. But yeah, but then so there's money. The risk is largely mitigated by the circumstance. There's a potential for greatness. And then you've got Merab, who might be the kryptonite of O'Malley. Because we're not just talking about a great wrestler, we're talking about a wrestler that can shoot like most fighters throw punches. Like, he just shoots and shoots and shoots. That fight against Peter Yan, I don't know what the numbers are. I remember, and I mean, I vaguely remember it being somewhere close to 40 plus takedowns or attempts. I mean, that's astonishing. And it could very much be kryptonite for O'Malley. So it's not defending that first shot. It's not, he's quick. He's not going to panic shoot, I don't think, like LJ. Listen, he did mention it, but like, the business side of him realizes there's an opportunity with less downside. And yeah, I'd be interested to see if that one spins out. For me personally, I feel sorry for Merab. He needs that title shot. He's done everything he could have done. A lot of fighters would have sat on the sidelines. He didn't. He got in there with Henry Cejudo and pieced him up. Like, he's the next guy. But if you're O'Malley and you're the businessman, you do not want that fight just yet. I mean, but Where do we leave this one? How do I wrap this one? All I can say is, for me, neither fighter walks away with any question marks against their name. No one's lost any stock here. Chito Vera is a bad man that has heart that I don't think we would have seen the other way round. If Chito had caught O'Malley, I'm sure he's a tough kid. We've never really seen him in that situation, but that was something else. But as impressive as that was, the impressiveness of Sean O'Malley's striking was ridiculous. And that's why I feel like it really is a fight of two stories. Both men deserve a lot of credit, a lot of praise. There is only one champion. Sean O'Malley potentially now could go on a tear. He's someone that's going to navigate his future. Is he going to be as big as Conor as everyone keeps touting? Don't know. But what I do know is, right now, there's a spot for a superstar. And I can't see who's nailed that down yet. And I think Sean O'Malley has just put his hand up and said, I want that spot. And I want it really bloody bad. But that's my 4-ounce insight. Let me know yours in the comments section below. Please, if you like this video or any of my other content, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I really want to try and just get up to 40 subs. I know it's an arbitrary number. It's because of 4 ounce. And I always see people going for, I want to get to my first 100,000. I'd be happy with 40. So if you got a moment, move your thumb over, click that button. And until then, I'll catch you next time. Take care.